do anything with these to
Yeah, unscrew those.
It's just like an up and up pocket.
Yeah. Oh, and then this unscrews.
Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are going to do some planting, but I want to start off up here in our entryway to discuss what you just witnessed happening, which was the fence coming out on the right-hand side as you approach the gate. So we were just out here the other day. We were kind of working out what our thoughts were for the plantings up here. And we just kept running into this kind of, the fence kept being a little bit of an issue because we'd have to make our planting, so short or so narrow to fit within this side if the fence was still here. And then to mirror it on this side, it just wasn't jiving very well. And I feel like, and I think that Aaron agrees, he's over there in the shade, that removing that was the best course.
Oh yeah, I think in the end it'll be right because all this stuff will get bigger and we can plant more things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I just love it. I was worried. I think the thing I was worried about the most is that one, it does like that fence visually separated the area so that in my mind, like the dirt lands was still the dirt lands and it's looking pretty rough over there, which means we're going to probably start in with weed clearing and mulching here really soon so that that's looking nice and sharp. And like Aaron said, this stuff right here, there's Spring Grove arborvitaes, which get 15 feet wide. Or did they get wider than 15, the Spring Groves?
I wouldn't be surprised if they got wider than that here.
Like 20-ish feet probably.
Yeah.
We've got a lilac that will get nice and big over there. Anyway, I was just kind of worried too that it would kind of make the line of maples look weird, that we had a maple here while it wasn't like part of a overall design. I felt like the fence kind of helped with that, but I love it. I am really surprised by how much I love having that gone. This is actually my first time seeing it, where right when we came out here. Aaron and Paul have been out here this morning working on it, and I was really excited to get up here and see it.
Yeah. So are you going to keep that lilac there, or are you going to plant, like just, because it'll get big, right?
Yeah. I mean, that one's supposed to get probably 15.
Okay. 12
to 15. So yeah, I totally plant. No, is that a Centara double blue? That might be a smaller one. I can't remember. Geez, I'll have to look back and see when I planted that. But either way, it'll get significant enough and we can put some other things around it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't mind even a little bit of an, like little glimpses through.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that back arp. We might move that one right there.
Oh, yeah?
Because you guys, I did work on a sketch, and maybe we can put the picture, it's like on a blank piece of paper. I worked on a sketch of what I want this front entryway, the plantings to look like. And I think it's going to be glorious, and I think it's going to be the right scale. I think that was the thing. We couldn't get the scale right with the fence there. And now we can be, nice and wide with our entryway beds. I think it's going to be great. So we left the boxwoods out here, from our project the other day, but we did pop the hydrangeas back in the high tunnel just because we get a lot of wind and they're top heavy, and I want them to stay as nice as possible until we're ready to plant. Which, now that the fence is out, I think we could probably get the boxwoods and hydrangeas in, and then the other elements we'll just have to pop in when we get them. When we get them. How was it taking the fence out? Were the posts easy or hard?
No, it kind of sucked a little bit.
Did it?
I was hoping that we could just pull them out, and they didn't budge at all with the tractor. So it wasn't that the tractor couldn't handle it, it's that the plastic couldn't handle it. They kept breaking. So we just dug down, and then we tried again, and it still didn't work. So we just cut them off and then filled the holes. So there's concrete under there.
We'll find it at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, Paul and I were looking at backhoe attachments for the loader because we were.
Of course he was.
Yeah. So that would actually be really nice to have like a real small backhoe attachment to if you needed to dig those out, because you'd have to dig down quite a ways. So we just figured, there's no point in digging them out now. If we have to dig them out in the future, we'll just dig them out in the future, and that's just what it is. So anyway, there's concrete. Nice.
As I'm looking at this area, I was wondering if it might look weird now with the roses and the weeping Alaskan cedar because the fence was there. But I think it looks great. We're gonna go with it, I think. Also, as I'm looking, I'm noticing that big fake rock. What's that covering?
So there's electrical that comes on the other side of the fence line. It goes across the driveway to here, and then it goes from here over to the fence stuff. And then there's also conduit that goes from here over to the front.
Okay.
So, because we have camera stuff. So I had to take off 2 cameras because we had 2 cameras on the last post. So we just rolled them up, and we'll rolled up the wire that was actually going through the fence. We'll put a post up somewhere else. And we have a lot of cameras.
We do. Those were almost like not unnecessary views, but
they were kind of unnecessary.
But they gave closer looks, I guess. Yeah. Area's already covered.
We have, with those 2, we have 7 cameras just in this area here. So if you come by,
we will know.
We know.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to show you the progress up here because this, to me, is big time progress. I'm going to bring a couple more boxwoods up probably today. I like seeing them up here. It's fun to see like some anchor pieces. And I'm anticipating probably in the next week we'll get all the hydrangeas, and we do have a heat up coming, so we've got a few days next week where it's like 99, 100 degrees. I'll probably wait till after that to put the hydrangeas in, particularly because they've been under cover in the high tunnel, and I don't really want to subject them to that. And then we'll fill in with the extra pieces later on. But this is going to be such an excellent area for like impact planting for annuals and bulbs and things like that. I'm just very excited about it. All right, so we're going to head back to the high tunnel and grab some things. I do have those hardy geraniums we picked up yesterday that we're going to get in the ground today, and we are just going to have a nice afternoon planting. It is beautiful. Do you know the temp out here right now?
70 degrees right now,
70.
high of 84.
Yeah, so awesome, you guys. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. We're gonna try to make the most of it. All right, guys, we're back here in the high tunnel area, and I spent some time, well, one, loading some things up, but also watering back here and just looking at all the beautiful things. We just spent some time yesterday working through kind of the pile that we have back here, and it was getting pretty messy. There were empty flats everywhere. There were weeds. I had onions to work through. This whole area looks so much better. We took the tubs of blueberries down to the garden center. So yeah, it just feels good to be back here now. And we've got some gorgeous gorgeous things to plant. So starting off with the Azure Rush geraniums that we picked up yesterday. So these are in bloom pretty much all season long, from early summer through fall, and they grow about 18 to 24 inches tall and about 24 inches wide. Cannot remember the zone, hardy down to zone 5, but they typically get a really beautiful fall color as well. And I believe I have Azure Rush already out in the garden, so we'll go try to find a more mature patch just to look at the growth habit. But I'm thinking about putting these behind the pond area, as well as probably maybe 1 to 3 of these Desert Plains Pennisetum. They're a hardy Pennisetum, zones 5 through 9, and these grow about 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. Now I've noticed in the description of this, they say they grow vase-like. Mine kind of grow in this big round kind of low poof. Maybe we can show you out in the landscape what they're looking like. Now the ones I have out there are fairly old, like I planted them maybe the first year we were gardening out there, and they could use some dividing, so that might be contributing to the shape they are currently. However, they've kind of been that shape from the beginning, but boy, the plumes, their seed heads that they put out later in the season are absolutely gorgeous, and they're really thick and showy. So I'm excited. This is just a really nice texture, and it's got a brightness to it, especially like next to this is a Kodiak Red 2.0 Durvella. Right here, I just popped one of these in the gator. These grow, I think 3 to 4 feet tall and wide, and just provide kind of this beautiful deep colored leaf through the season, and then they color up beautifully, like really kind of a deep red with orange undertones in the fall. And you can see right here, it just got done blooming. They throw out, oh, and there's more buds right here. They throw out little pale yellow blooms throughout the whole season, and pollinators really like them. But anyway, I think this Red 2.0 is an improvement on the old red Durvella. And then we've got some easy as pie bush cherries. So it's a tart cherry producing shrub rather than a tree, which is awesome. Cherries are one of those things I love. I love to eat cherries, well, sweet cherries for sure, but they are a little bit hard to keep, well, the birds out of here. The birds just ravage the cherry trees, and it's harder to keep worms out of them. So to have them in a small form, these grow like, I think 3 to 4.5 feet tall and wide. So very small, very manageable. The tart cherries, of course, are more for preserves and pies and things, but cherry pie is my dad's favorite dessert. So I think that would be fun if I could get some tart cherries out of this. And it will be easy to throw some netting over these. Instead of like a great big tree that you're trying to keep the birds out of, we can just toss a little piece of netting over them. I think I'm gonna pop these in the dirt lands, kind of tuck them back a little bit. They are really pretty when they bloom in the spring. Maybe we can pop a picture up. Now, this is a newer variety. I've never grown it before, so it's gonna be an interesting experiment, but they are very showy. So I thought, well, they'll be showy out in the dirt lands, and then when it comes time to net them, I can toss netting over them and it doesn't really matter. They'll be out in the dirt lands and they can just be their netted selves out there, and they won't be, you know, in a landscape closer to the house where they're really visible. I can't remember the zone on this one. I don't think these have tags, so maybe we can pop that up on the screen. And then I also did grab a couple more of the Independence boxwoods to take up front so we could kind of finish that swoop on the right. So anyway, overall a beautiful load, and it's just feeling so good out here. Oh, this whole summer, you guys, Aaron and I were driving around last night, and we were just talking about how much of a gift it's been. Last year was so intense. It was so hot. And it just gets tiring after a while, to be honest. Like it doesn't make me lose my passion or my drive to get out and do things, but it kind of like wears your body out a little bit more. And so this year we've only had like, you know, less than a week of 100-degree temperatures, maybe like 4 or 5 days the whole summer so far. Like, that's nuts. That's a really mild summer for us. So it's just been lovely. Anyway, I feel like gardeners of all people appreciate nice weather the most. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe that's because that's my realm, but I really appreciate it. So do the plants, I think. I forgot to turn the hose off. I just noticed. That's one way that I think we get or have issues with any of our retractable hose reels, is if we leave pressure on to the end of the hose. I think that pressure that builds up right at the end over time weakens the end, and we usually, not usually, but sometimes we get pinhole leaks right before like where the dram one hooks on. So it's only happened a couple of times, but I try to keep the hoses off to avoid it. The lawn Aaron seeded back here is coming in really nice. I mean, there's weeds, which is normal in an area that you have just recently worked up. but those will go quickly once he can start to mow and we can start to use some spray on those weeds. But it's looking nice, seeing some green. We're just gonna stop right up here. I wanna grab this grass first. See if we can find a spot for it. Think we can? This area is so open. I'm sure we will not have any issue. Oh, I like it right there. That's pretty. And maybe we can come in with our geraniums. Let's try it. Kind of grow and mask this a little bit, but it's still soft so you can get to it. That might be nice. I have to be so careful digging around here, so I'm not going to use my auger. Like, I already found a water supply line. I found a 1/4 inch drip line that goes to the lilac, and I found an electrical, like a plug-in. So anyway, I'm going to go about this pretty slow. Whew! I wintered these over. They're pretty root bound. Oh, hello, where'd you go? Rolling around. Found a sweet spot where there's nothing. Okay, let's do this one. Look at that. Okay, down here, there's one plug-in, I think for lights, and then one water supply line. I think that's it. Also trying not to make a mess in the beautiful mulch back here. I just cut the bottom of the root ball off. That usually works. What a fun little spot back here. So we've got our catalpa. We've got now the two grasses, which I love seeing them on two different levels. And they'll grow to where they'll kind of encompass the post that has the plugins and stuff so that we don't see it. But the grasses will be soft enough and easy enough to get around to where we can still get in there if we need to. It's not something we access very often, but we will need to access it a couple of times a year. And then we've got our drift of geraniums, and I did pop one right up here in between. There's like a driftwood and a rock right there, and I think that'll be beautiful, just softening this area up. And I did get them all watered in, so they're good to go, but doesn't that grass just show up? It just shines. Here's what it looks like from this angle. Now I am keeping this open right here for a walkway that will lead to the patio area, but we will be filling this area in. And I was actually thinking, like right back in here, I would like to put an evergreen. I was gonna put one up there. Remember, we went in with this Siberian cypress, and I decided it was too low and just not the right fit for there. So it looks beautiful there. Now I could put in like some kind of blue, something taller right in this space here. And this area does, as the day progresses, get a little bit more sun. So, you know, right now we're in the morning, late morning-ish, and this spot gets sun, and then it kind of moves this direction to where the roses that we just planted will be in the sun, and just this little area. But the oak leaf hydrangeas we planted are under shade, so there's kind of a line there. Okay, so I think I'm gonna head over to the north berm with our other two grasses. Aaron was just commenting last night when we were driving around how it would be pretty to have grasses out here, and I agree. So right over here, and over there we can use our auger. We haven't mulched, and there isn't electrical lines and water lines and all of that everywhere in that berm area. That looks pretty. Let's go down the way. I think right here. I think that is gorgeous. So we have our berry awesome hibiscus and our quickfire fab hydrangeas. I think they'll just all incorporate beautifully. Come a little bit forward. There we go. Yeah. The layers from the side. Gosh, I gotta move it a little more this way. Whoops. Yeah, the layers from the side when we see the grass popping out and the hydrangeas nice and big. Oh, it's gonna look nice. Okay, let's get them in the ground. I had to retrace my steps because I dropped a glove. Anyway. Sounds about right. There's the first grass. Isn't that pretty? I think that trio is gorgeous. And it's such a low maintenance trio too. We come in and cut these all the way back once a year, and then we come and trim that once a year. That's it. I love that. We'll drive down to the other one. Oh, I can see that grass texture just popping through. I love it. Same sort of trio, but a little bit more spread out. And they're so far apart from one another that I don't think you'll notice it's the same trio. And I think some of that repetition is good as well. Okay, we are gonna head out to the Dirtlands to plant the cherries next. I saw a spot that I think this Stervella might be pretty in. I do have more of these that I can bring out here. But we have a semi-stressed Norway spruce right there. It was way more stressed this spring coming out of winter. It looked like it was pretty much almost all the way brown, and then it pushed a bunch of new growth. So we're hopeful that it's just needing some time to, I don't know, get back with it. Either way, we've got the Norway spruce and we've got a lilac right here, so it might be nice to have a little bit of red right in this space. Let's do it. there it is, watered in, looking pretty. I'm excited to see what that one does here. All right, so now we're gonna head back this way and we'll pop the cherries in somewhere back here. Maybe over by a crabapple that's straight ahead. Yeah, why don't we do just like a little patch of cherries right here? They'll be pretty in the spring. And these will have a lighter colored bloom, while that crabapple, I can't remember the variety, has bright pink blooms. Okay, so they grow 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. I want to make sure that I've got enough space to get around them, should they be very productive and we need to do some harvesting. Yeah, that looks good. And there they are, all planted, watered in. I'm excited about these. Really excited to see if they produce some fruit for us next year. And they're just easy access, just right off the lane. We can walk right to them. Plenty of space around them to pick cherries. So much fun. Okay, we're gonna go set these last 2 boxwoods up in the front entryway to end things off today. Real quick, you guys. This is the strawberry moon chatalpa that we planted this spring. Maybe we can find the video where we planted this, because it looked like sticks when we planted it, and it has grown so much. And it has been in bloom for most of the season. Look at these blooms. They are gorgeous. Look at that, and there's buds. There's buds all over it. My word, look at these. Oh, that's an exciting development right here. What a great tree so far. Wonder how even that looks. Probably not even close. I'm gonna fuss over the placement of these for a while. I just know it. Okay, let's see how even it looks from the front. So we've got 10 that go from the pillar over to the spruce, 10 that go from the pillar over to pretty much the arb. They're really close. I think the spruce might be a little bit closer to the lane, but when I'm standing centered with the arb, it looks straight over at that spruce. Let me step this off. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The arb is smaller right now, but it's set back at this point about 3 feet more than this one. So when we go in to actually plant these boxwoods, I'm gonna have to, I don't know how I'm gonna measure it. I just wanna make sure that the swoop looks really good. Maybe we'll set the boxwoods out and then get the drone up and see what it looks like. But oh, I love just elongating the whole thing, and then we'll have an arborvitae backdrop that goes out straight from the maples on either side with our wing of hydrangeas, and then an ornamental grass probably, like a totem pole or something like that. It's gonna be gorgeous. And you guys, that is gonna be it for our projects for today. Just wanted to show you the progress up here, and oh, it's just so awesome. I'm just loving it. Just looking at these boxwoods makes me happy, just even sitting here. I think I already said that, but it really does make me happy to see them sitting here. I think we'll have this planting pretty much buttoned up by the time winter comes around, and we'll have the pier caps on top, which we thought they were supposed to be here a couple days ago, and they're not here yet. And then when we make our wreaths for Christmas, we can either put them on the gates again, or we can hang them around the lights. I've seen that on pillars before, and I think that's really pretty. You can hang them right below the lights. Lots of different options, and I'm so thrilled about it. It's also nice to get some other things planted out in the landscape. I love where everything ended up. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.